outside hitter, junior number 1, Jackson Rutkowski. At setter, sophomore number 8, Gabe Fabro. At middle hitter, junior number 12, Dominic Wheaton. At middle hitter, junior number 13, Colin Mendoza. At outside hitter, junior number 23, Michael Cummins. At outside hitter, junior number 24, Cade Kinney. And at libero for the Maroons, junior number 3, Caden Noble. The Maroons are coached by head coach Mark Roback and assisted by Buck Boswell, Morgan Boswell, and John Hines.
Well, we welcome you to Buena Vista as our coverage of SVU men's volleyball continues. If it's your first time joining us, hello, I'm Chris Fox to bring you all the action today. The Southern Virginia Knights now taking on the Roanoke Maroons. It has been a busy day here in Buena Vista. We started the day off with the Averett Cougars coming in taking on the Southern Virginia Knights. Southern Virginia got the win over top of Averett, 3-0 in that first matchup earlier today. We were then followed up and treated to a matchup between the Roanoke Maroons and the Averett Cougars. The Roanoke Maroons were able to fight hard to get a win in that one. They took the dub 3-1 over top of the Cougars of Averett. Now we get to see the Roanoke Maroons for the second time in a row today, and Southern Virginia for the second time in 3 matches today. Southern Virginia comes into this game completely undefeated, 4-0 this season. Their last game, of course, the one we just mentioned earlier today. Before that, they got a win versus Wittenberg. They also knocked down number 12 team in the nation just earlier this year. That was, of course, against number 12, Loras College. Got the win over the Duhawks in Springfield, Ohio, 3-0. For the Roanoke Maroons, they're 4-2 so far in the 2024-2025 campaign. Their last game, a win versus Averett. Before that, they lost a close match against Lancaster Bible College. Lancaster Bible College, of course, one of the teams Southern Virginia is going to be facing off. They'll face off against the Chargers on Saturday for an early morning game at 11 o'clock a.m. We get to take a look at the Southern Virginia starters. One of their stars is going to be, that's number 17, Isaac Carrillo. Outside hitter, sophomore from Albuquerque, New Mexico. One thing about Isaac Carrillo that we all need to keep in mind, he is top 40 in the nation in aces per set. We're going to see a couple players for the Knights that we didn't get to see in the first matchup against the Cougars of Averett. One of those players being Knights' own number 4, Garrig Tolman, sophomore from Gilbert, Arizona. Tolman listed at the setter spot. He's top 5 in assists per set in the entire country. Definitely take a look and watch out for him in this game against the Roanoke Maroons. The Roanoke Maroons are coached by Mark Rohrback in his second season at the helm of the Maroons men's volleyball program. Had a winning season last year, looking to continue that in the ODAC this year. In terms of conference standings, 2 different conferences, Southern Virginia in the CVC, Roanoke Maroons in the ODAC. In the ODAC preseason poll, the Maroons were slated to finish second in this year's season. They're currently undefeated in conference play after picking up that win earlier today, just a couple moments ago, against the Cougars of Averett. Southern Virginia, number 1 in the CVC preseason poll, number 1 in the AVCA. That's the national rankings in the preseason poll. And as it stands right now, 7:14 p.m., Tuesday, January 28th, Southern Virginia are still the number 1 ranked team in the country. An exciting matchup here, 2 well-matched programs, Maroons versus the Knights. And we'll get to see the Knights starters for the first time today. The starters for Southern Virginia include number 18, Kyler Evans. Of course, who could forget number 9, Samuel Canlin, one of the best in the country. Number 1 in hitting percentage of every player in Division III men's volleyball this year. He is also joined by number 11, Kristen Schaefer, number 10, Jeremy Brown, Jimbo, as the team calls him here in Buena Vista. Of course, we mentioned Isaac Carrillo, and number 6, Justin Madsen. It will be Southern Virginia to serve, and they'll have their best guy, their best foot forward. Isaac Carrillo, top 40 in aces percent. Had a couple of aces in the last game against Everett. We'll see what he can do here. We are underway. Maroons get the first shot at it. And Southern Virginia, a good defensive team in their own right. That's not how they made their bones this season. They've made it off the hands of that man right there, Canlin. But how about that from the Roanoke Maroons, getting the first block of the day. Looks like that'll be slated to go down for Cade Kinney, junior outside hitter from Richmond, Virginia, formerly playing at Clover Hill High School. A couple new Knights come out, a couple new Knights make their way back in, including number 4, Garrick Tolman, sophomore from Gilbert, Arizona. Back to serve now for the Maroons, their own number 4, Tegan Cole. That one's just hit over by Brown. Second shot at it for Canlin. That one doesn't miss. We mentioned Sam Canlin, number 1 in the nation in hitting percentage. Hits right around 420 for the entire year. He's also top 17 in kills per set, and he finds himself behind the line to serve for the Knights. 1-1's the score. Canlin, just a little bit too much on that one. Point goes to the Maroons, and so does the ball. Southern Virginia's faced some tough competition so far. One ODAC team in Everett earlier today. They beat the Liberty Flames at home. How about that one for the big man down low, Kyler Evans, another senior from Gilbert, Arizona. Back to serve now, Jeremy Brown. We're going to see the Maroons offense get started. A little bit too much on that from the Knights. Got to make something happen. Schaefer with an ever so familiar kill here at home in the barn. Christian Schaefer, this is a player we're going to keep our eyes on throughout the entirety of today's game. Senior from Palmyra, Pennsylvania, AVCA Division III Player of the Week last week. Has a couple stat lines in his favor as well nationally. Top 4 in aces per set, top 6 in kills per set. Brown back to serve. Knights lead 4-2. Maroons on the offensive. Canlin, big defensive stop. How about that? Big block in the middle. That'll belong to Maroons number 12, Dominic Wheaton. The 6'4" junior from Glen Allen, Virginia, brings it within 1 here in the first set. 3-4, Southern Virginia still leading. And Connor Tyson, junior from Waxhaw, North Carolina, back to serve. Tyson, see what the Knights can do. They'll find Canlin. Good defense by the Maroons. Big block down low, still alive. That one's not killed down. Garrick Tolman. And with that, we will see Kyler Evans come out. He is joined by Justin Madsen making his way out. And back to serve now, Caleb Crow, freshman from Houston, Texas. Caleb Crow had a couple of good serves against Everett earlier today. Of course, he is accompanied anytime he goes to serve. If you can hear in the barn tonight, his team with the Crow calls. Big serve, too big for Caleb Crow. And after the serve from Crow, we'll see Evans back in and Tolman back in as well. Well, that's actually number 6, Justin Madsen in the libero, senior from Las Vegas, Nevada. Played at Centennial High School before his time here in Buena Vista. Knights are, of course, coached by veteran head coach Tom Peterson in his 9th season at the helm of the program, assisted by his wife Cheryl, assistant coach Gabe Wagner, Russell Tompkins, and a volunteer assistant coach Jeff Tomlinson, all on the sideline for head coach Tom Peterson. How about that nifty move? Garrick Tolman. Tolman's top 5 in assists per set. Showing off his offensive chops. Served by Tolman. We'll see the Maroons in action. able to get a hand on it. Madsen sets it for Schaefer. Just have to get it over. Knights now. Hanlon, big block on the other side. They'll get another shot at it. Schaefer, that one's good. Big number 11, Christian Schaefer, puts Knights up by 3. Now Tolman back to serve. Three men there, 1 point down. Tolman serve, Maroons on the offensive. Madsen. Over to Schaefer. And they'll give that point to Maroons. Different calls on either side by the officiating crew. Near side official said that one was in. The rest of the crew said not so much. 5-8, Southern Virginia still leading. Maroons on the offensive. Brown finds Schaefer, still alive. Canlin kept it there. Brown. That one makes its way out. Point Southern Virginia Knights. Should be noted the number 21, Jason Wang, has come in for number 18, Kyler Evans, on the Southern Virginia side of the court. Jason Wang, freshman from Virginia Beach, Virginia. Not too far from home, just far enough to be a trip. Good 3.5 hours from the beach from here. Big block down, SVU. Jason Wang in that last matchup against the Cougars had an extremely impressive day. In fact, a lot of the freshmen did. We got to see Brady Dastrup, Jason Wang, Jet Hall, and a myriad of other freshmen put on a clinic against the Cougars earlier today. Big serve from Schaefer. That one just a little bit too wide. Southern Virginia still leading 10-6, as now we get to see Colin Mendoza back to serve now. This is a player for the Maroons that needs to be watched out for. He is the ODAG Defensive Player of the Week 2 weeks ago. He had a season-high 5 blocks against Penn State Altoona earlier this year. Big shot by Brown, keeps the Knights in charge. Jason Wang makes his way to the bench. Isaac Carrillo checks his way into the game to serve. Carrillo. Maroons look to the far side. Got a good hit on it, had a block on it too, but it'll go down as a kill for Michael Cummins. Maroons loving to attack that far side. It's either been number 23, Michael Cummins, the 6'5" junior from Midlothian, Virginia, right outside of Richmond, or they're looking for number 1, their 6'3" junior, Jackson Rutkowski. Rutkowski from Catonsville, Maryland, formerly playing at Mount St. Joseph. He wears that number 1. Knights, quick work, Kyler Evans. Kyler Evans with the presence in the middle at that middle blocker spot. Every player on the court tall. Kyler Evans towers above them all. Canley can't get that one to go. Be a point to the Maroons, 12-8. Southern Virginia still leading. And back to serve is Michael Cummins. Cummins is served. Just long. Great awareness from the Knights there on that back side. You saw Justin Madsen, instant read, instantly right for the senior from Las Vegas. Jeremy Jimbo Brown back to serve. Maroons get started. How about that? Big block by Schaefer. O'Cade Kinney thought he had all of that. with Christian Schaefer. 2 hands up, 1 ball down, 1 point up for the Knights. 14-8 is the score. Maroons try to make quick work in the middle. Just an errant pass from Tegan Cole. You saw he was looking for Dominic Wheaton there in the middle. Brown back to serve. That one hit the ceiling. Point Knights. For anyone just now joining us, any Roanoke Maroon fans tuning into this one today against Southern Virginia, you should know that playing here in the barn, you have one of the lower ceilings in the country for the sport of men's volleyball, which means that ball is liable to get caught up in that ceiling and in the air ducts. Here's the thing. If it comes down on the same side of the court it went up on, you play that ball. Just need to find it. If that ball somehow goes up, touches the ceiling, and crosses over top of the net into the opposing side of play, the point goes to the defending team in that aspect. So that one's a point for the Knights. Could be a point for the Maroons on the next time, but everyone here at Southern Virginia calls that a point for the barn. So, Knights 16, Maroons 8, barn 1. Just to clarify for those that might not be sure why we call it the barn here at Southern Virginia University. Before it was called Southern Virginia University, it was known as Southern Seminary here in Buena Vista. It was an equestrian college. And as you can imagine, this gym was at one point where they kept the horses, or the barn that they kept all their riding horses that they would use for class. It has now been turned into one of the finer sporting events or sporting venues in the state, in my opinion. Welcome to the barn is a popular chant here at Southern Virginia University. Hope we expect to hear that from the Knight students here in attendance and the fans here as well. We're going to get things started again. Southern Virginia up 16-8. Jeremy Brown back to serve. Same faces in for the Knights. Canlin, Evans, Schaefer. How about that? Tandem duo of Kyler Evans and Garrick Tolman put the Knights up by 9, 17-8 here in the first set. Brown. Maroons looking to get something started on the offensive side. That point will belong to the Maroons. Just got over. Connor Tyson is back to serve. We'll get to see the return of Colin Mendoza, wearing that number 13 in for the Roanoke Maroons. Knights play it. Canlin, that one's just up and down. 18-9, Southern Virginia. Caleb Crow checks back into the game for head coach Tom Peterson. Crow's serve. That one's playable up in the ceiling. Maroons, they get that one to fall. Big kill by Jackson Rutkowski. And after the kill from Rutkowski, we'll see what we saw earlier. Caleb Crow comes out. Kyler Evans comes back in. Joining him, Jason Wang. Actually, Kyler Evans made his way back out, so Jason Wang, the freshman, could make his way on. Serving now, KJ Kingston. Kingston's serve is into the net. Give that back to the Knights, 19-10. Now the score. This is a Southern Virginia team that prides itself on making the most of its offensive opportunities. This team is number 1 in the nation in hit percentage, with just over half of the number of attacks of other programs in the country. It's for reasons and players just like that. Jeremy Brown, no bones about it. 20 points for the Knights, 10 for the Maroons. Back to serve, Garrick Tolman. And a couple of big booms for the Southern Virginia sideline. Rutkowski just into the net. Southern Virginia up 21-10. Should be noted while we talked about all these phenomenal stats for the Southern Virginia program. Number 1 in hit percentage, we mentioned that earlier. Number 1 in kills per set. Number 3 in assists per set. And number 7 in aces per set. Tolman tried to catch him off guard, just not enough on that one. Gotta like the creativity coming from sophomore Garrick Tolman. Rutkowski, big serve for him, just wide. As Southern Virginia's knocking on the door of set number 1. Hit the ceiling, came over, point Knights. Point number 2 for the Barn in this matchup between ODAC and CVC. Christian Schaefer. Caught him off guard. Maroons getting a chance. That's just a great hit off the hands of Michael Cummins. Had a couple of Knights in his face. The 6'5" junior makes it count. Now back to serve Colin Mendoza. Mendoza also from the Richmond area, hails from Midlothian. Played at Midlothian High School. That one goes into the net for him. He'll make his way to the bench in that regard. Interesting not to see Colin Mendoza out on the defensive side. He's the reigning defensive player of the week there in the ODAC. Set point and back to serve. A man with one of the best serves in the nation, number 17, Isaac Carrillo. Big serve, Maroons playable. Excellent hit inside from Michael Cummins, and the Maroons stay alive for just a second longer. Carrillo out. Jason Wang out. In for the Knights, Tolman, Brown, Candlin, Evans, Schaefer, and who also put the libero, number 6, Justin Madsen. Back to serve, Gabe Fabro. Madsen. Not able to get the full hand on it was Evans. And that's a great hit. Split Brown and Evans down the middle. Point goes to the Maroons. Fabro serve again. Good dig by Schaefer. Evans didn't get a full hand on it, but it doesn't count. 25-14 is the final score of the first set. Southern Virginia puts one on the score sheet in their name, and we'll switch sides. Take a look at the stats just through that first set. Kills, Southern Virginia with 10, Maroons with 6. Attack errors, that's where we start to differentiate things. Maroons with 8 attack errors on that set. Southern Virginia only 3, which leads to hitting percentages of roughly 0.83 for the Maroons and 33.3% for the Southern Virginia Knights. Out of those kills, 10 of them were assisted, or I guess all 10 of them were assisted. Same goes for the Maroons, 6 assists in that. Service aces, 2 for the Knights, none yet for the Roanoke College Maroons. Good to see if we'll see a couple players that we didn't see, or I guess that we did see in the Maroons' first matchup against Averett. One of those players being number 18, Pierce Fulkin. Pierce Fulkin, wearing number 18, just had to find him there on my score sheet. Pierce Fulkin, junior, 6'7", from Moseley, Virginia. He ended the game against the Cougars with the most kills on that side from Maroons. We'll see him warming up right now. There he is at the top of your screen. Hard to miss him, all 6'7" of them. That'll definitely add a wrinkle to the Southern Virginia Knights defensive plan. See what they would do with him. couple players warming up for the Roanoke College Maroons. Fulkin being one of them. There he is right there. Number 12, Dominic Wheaton. We saw him earlier today. Roanoke College Maroons are, of course, coached by head coach Mark Rohrback in his second season at the helm. We mentioned that a little bit earlier. Found great success as a Roanoke College Maroon. Came from the high school ranks there in the Roanoke, Virginia area. Taking a big step forward in the ODAC. Not an easy conference to be a part of for any sport, especially men's volleyball. He's, of course, assisted by Buck Boswell, Morgan Boswell, both in their second season there in Roanoke, and John Hines in his first season with the Roanoke College Maroons. Athletic trainer, of course, with the Roanoke Maroons as well is Keith Doolin. And that is the Roanoke College Maroons coaching staff. And again, I wish them good luck, or all the luck in the rest of their season as they continue to traverse the ODAC landscape. Looks like with the sound of that whistle, we'll get things started a little bit in the right direction as teams start to make their way back on to the court. Southern Virginia picked up that set. And when you look at the numbers of these Southern Virginia Knights, it's hard to see a reason as why they would drop a set. In the last 34 games for the Southern Virginia Knights, that's 3-4. That spans this season and all of last season. They've only lost 4 sets in that entire time. 4 sets, only 1 game. That one game being in the NCAA tournament where they had a hard-fought loss against NYU. Lost that one 3-2 to end their 2024 campaign. But they have been absolute dynamite since and before then. 34 games, 4 sets given up. So for the Knights, familiar faces. Schaefer. He's in there alongside Canlon. We'll look to see them have a hot start to the second period. Second set, rather. Evans is also out there. Garrick Tolman's out there. Justin Madsen, a staple at libero here in Buena Vista, in there as well. And Jeremy Brown. Maroons started off with an errant serve. For the Roanoke College Maroons, a couple of new faces we mentioned. Number 18 was checked into the game. Pierce Fulkin here on this near side of your screen. Dominic Wheaton's in there as well. Michael Cummins, who we saw have a good first set. Tegan Cole sets it up, and that's what you got to look out for. Pierce Fulkin, his first attack, his first kill. 100% not bad to start the game. Other Bruins in the game include number 3, Caden Noble. He's in the libero spot. And number 1, Jackson Rutkowski. Nice quick work. Garrick Tolman. Second time he's done that today. Back to serve, Jeremy Brown. Look for Fulkin again. Too much on that one. Brown. Set it up on the other side to Rutkowski. Southern Virginia defends. Look for Schaefer. Give that points for the Knights. Stepping on the wrong side for the Roanoke College Maroons. Southern Virginia up 4-1 to start the second set. Jimbo Brown. Too far, Schaefer's there. Christian Schaefer's not going to let you make too many of those mistakes and not go unpunished. Southern Virginia up 5-1. Rutkowski out. Logan Chappelle in. Chappelle, 6-foot junior from Ashland, Virginia. Brown serve. Try to set it up in the middle, just a little bit too far behind Dominic Wheaton. You can tell Dominic Wheaton wanted every part of that. He'll be looking to do that again. Brown served that one into the net. We'll see the Maroons have a chance with it now. Connor Tyson is in for the Maroons, as is Colin Mendoza. It'll be Tyson back to serve. Two straight service errors being traded by both squads. Got to go back to the Knights, something we typically don't see from the Southern Virginia Knights squad, are those service errors. Especially not from this man, new man in for the Southern Virginia Knights, number 2, senior from Queen Creek, Arizona, Jayden Hall. Jayden Hall and his brother Jet Hall both ended last game against the Cougars with multiple service aces. Jayden Hall picked up 4. His brother Jet just got 5. Little brother wins round 1. Hall, that one into the net again. Teams trading it back and forth. Fulkin is out for the Roanoke College Maroons. KJ Kingston is back in, junior from Columbia, South Carolina. Number 4, traded between both teams. It's been 4 long serves since we've seen a rally. Can Garrick Tolman pull us out of the hole? He does. We'll get to see some volleyball. Maroons look to the other side, responding well. Logan Chappelle. First kill of the day for the junior. Chappelle, he'll go back to serve. Chappelle hard to miss, wearing that number 21 and the Bob Ross haircut. Knights play. Look for Schaefer. That's what he does best. Up and down. Point up for the Knights. It'll be Schaefer now back to serve. Big serve from Schaefer, service ace for the Knights. And for the Knights, that's service ace number 3 throughout the game today. Top 4 in that category is Palmyra PA's finest in Schaefer. Knights play. Look for Schaefer again. Maroons hang in there. Just get it over. Here come the Knights. Well, I say that. Knights are smarter than me. They watch that one out. Good work by the Knights, and Schaefer still serves. 11-4 is the score. Schaefer serve. A playable by the Maroons. They'll look all the way to the other side. Big block. Maroons get another crack at it. Just can't get past that side. Canland and Jason Wang. Timeout called. Mark Rohrback. Southern Virginia up 12-4, and Mark Rohrback and the Maroons are going to look for some answers on the offense and defensive side of the ball. We always talk about those moments of players rising up into the occasion. Obviously, volleyball is a team sport. But you always wonder, what player, what athlete is going to step up in the moment and make a difference for his or her team? Have a good look on my side here at Mark Rohrback in the Roanoke Maroons huddle. He's looking for which player is going to don the cape here in the second set. Down 12-4 to the number 1 team in the country, the Southern Virginia Knights. Players in for the Maroons: Michael Cummins, Colin Mendoza, KJ Kingston, Connor Tyson, and number 8, Gabe Fabro. Of course, we can't forget the libero. Who can forget? Caden Noble, junior from Deep Run, North Carolina. Schaefer back to serves. His 4th straight. Schaefer. Playable. Look to this side. Tried to go cross. Just into the net. You can see what Michael Cummins was thinking about. His last 2 times attempting to attack from this near side. He was met by the senior freshman combo of Jason Wang and Sam Canlon. That's another service ace for Christian Schaefer. 14-4. Maroons looking for answers on the defensive side. Schaefer. That one just too strong. A good run from behind the service line for Christian Schaefer. Puts the Knights up by 9, 14-5. And now the Maroons a chance to respond on the offensive side. Back to serve is Colin Mendoza. Playable by the Knights. Looked inside. Jason Wayne got a hand to it. Looked to be a dig from Schaefer. Just a great hit on the other side by Michael Cummins. The 6'5" junior getting that one to stick. Tip of the cap for Michael Cummins. They've tried him 4 straight times here on this near side. 3 of those have been either blocked or interfered with by the Southern Virginia blockers. Not letting that get to him, burying that one down to put a point up for the Maroons. Back into the game for the Knights to serve Isaac Carrillo. .61 sophomore is Carrillo. His freshman year played in 11 sets, got 7 kills, had 2 service aces in a match against Averett last year in his freshman campaign. Brown, how about that? Jimbo Brown puts the Knights up by 1 more, 16-6. It should be known that in the bio of sophomore Isaac Carrillo, in his personal statement, which typically where student athletes puts the name of their family, some of their hobbies, something they like, it just says 2 things. One of which says, Yo soy loco, which for those playing along at home means I am crazy in Spanish. Secondly being, bounces higher than you. And that is certainly the case. See the look on that serve and Isaac Carrillo goes up. He definitely bounces higher than 99% of the population, especially that other 1%, which is me. Big serve in. How about that, Sam Canlon? Back to serve now, Sam Canlon. Canlon, senior from Carlisle, Pennsylvania. That one just fooled the Knights. Didn't think it was going to make its way over, but it does. Cummins is served. Look for Schaefer. Comes in from the backyard and spikes it down. Southern Virginia continuing their dominance, 19-8. And it's Jimbo Brown. Back to serve. Good dig on that side from Noble. Knights get a hand on it. Look for Schaefer. Bruins on the attack. Noble. Tolman to Brown. Timeout. Mark Rohrback. Southern Virginia taken away with this set 20-8 here in the second. With this timeout, Southern Virginia up 20-8. Wouldn't you love to be a fly on the wall of the huddle on the opposing side from the Roanoke Bruins, and the opposite side of me here in the barn in Buena Vista, Virginia, with Tom Peterson. Tom Peterson again in his 9th season, one of the, or if not, the most successful coach in CVC history, definitely in Southern Virginia men's volleyball history. Let's just take a look at some of the accolades just here in his time at Southern Virginia University. First repeating CVC Coach of the Year, Tom Peterson was. 3 straight undefeated CVC regular season records. The only coach in the conference to ever repeat as Coach of the Year. He has been an absolute treat here in Buena Vista, and the teams he puts together even more so. Points for the Knights, 21-8. Back to serve, Jimbo Brown yet again. Brown serve, playable. Here come the Knights. Schaefer, that one's good. Well, Christian Schaefer was met by 6'7" Pierce Fulkin. Fulkin not able to get a strong enough hand on that, and Schaefer picks up where he left off. Brown wasting no time. 22-8 is the score. Southern Virginia knocking on the door on 2 straight sets. Fulkin gets the better of Schaefer on that one. Big hit from the junior. Gets the Maroons their 9th point of the set. Now back to serve. Number 15, Riley Coffrin. Junior from a long way from home, Sicily, Italy. Thought they were going the other side to Schaefer. Pulled the old switcheroo. It's Kyler Evans, 23-9. And now Jayden Hall back to serve. Should be noted that Colin Mendoza is in on the defensive side for what appears to be, if not the first, one of the few times today for head coach Mark Rohrback, Defensive Player of the Week in the ODAC. Trying to show some offense. Knights. Setter thought he'd try it. Good block on the other side by the aforementioned Colin Mendoza. Got to applaud Garrick Tolman for trying that one. Good block on the side of the Maroons. Mendoza remains in. Back to serve, KJ Kingston. South Carolinian trying to chip away at this Southern Virginia lead. SVU 2 points away from taking set number 2. Kingston. That one long. It's set point for the Knights. Let's see who's tasked with serving. It'll be sophomore from Arizona, Garrick Tolman. Tolman for set number 2. Plays that one up. Knights want to play some defense. And they'll win that set on an errant pass from the Maroons. So, an anticlimactic ending to set number 2, but Southern Virginia dominated in that one 25-10 was the final score of set number 2. And we move to set number 3. Southern Virginia has rarely been to a game where they didn't take set number 3. We'll see if the Maroons have anything in store for the Southern Virginia Knights, but right now, it's been all Knights, all the time. Also good to see if we might see some different players coming in for head coach Tom Peterson. We saw that in the first game against Averett. A lot of those freshmen getting a chance to play for the home crowd. Of course, this is not Southern Virginia's home opener. That was a couple weeks ago where they played themselves in the Crimson and White Classic. They then faced off against the D1 team of the Liberty Flames. They were to take a 3-0 win over top of the Flames in that one. This is the first, I don't want to call it real game, but regular season game for the Southern Virginia Knights this year. You never want to talk over Sweet Caroline, but we're going to take a look at the game stats, the total so far for today. Southern Virginia leads the kills department 20-11 over top of the Roanoke College Maroons. The errors is really glaring right now. Maroons 14, Southern Virginia only 4 errors on their attacks, which means hitting percentage right now for the Maroons right around a negative 0.7. Southern Virginia hitting a very respectable 4.44, so 44.4% so far in today's game. Service errors are a little bit less than we saw the Southern Virginia Knights able to gather up against the Cougars of Averett. They have 5 in today's game. They were well into the teens by the end of the second set against Averett earlier today. Both teams are knotted up with 9 service errors apiece. We did have that small stretch there in that second set. About 5 or 6 passes or serves where neither team was able to get that ball over the net. Some free points for either squad. Diggs, SVU 14, Maroons 8. Blocks also on the side of the Southern Virginia Knights, 8-3 over top of Roanoke College. Teams making their way back on. The Southern Virginia starting 5 is still out there. It is Brown, Evans, Canlon, Carrillo, and Schaefer. For the Maroons, it is Cummins, Dominic Wheaton. Colin Mendoza looks to be in for the time being. Jackson Rutkowski out there. Cade Kinney's out there. Gabe Fabro. It looks like libero Caden Noble will eventually make his way on to the court as well. Looks like teams having a friendly chat there in the middle. Jeremy Brown, Sam Canlon. Having some good conversation with a couple of the Maroons, one of those being Gabe Fabro. We've mentioned Gabe Fabro's name, 6'1" sophomore from Aviano, Italy. Wearing that number 8 for the Roanoke College Maroons. Southern Virginia will start things off, and of course, who else but Isaac Carrillo. Remember, he bounces higher than you. Starting off set number 3. That one just a little bit too strong from the sophomore from New Mexico. He'll make his way out and into the game. Southern Virginia number 6, Justin Madsen. He's the libero, senior from Las Vegas, Nevada. Should be noted that Justin Madsen in his junior year took home the CVC Libero of the Year. Had 77 total digs last year, averaged right around 2.57 digs per set in the conference season. It should be noted that he joins the only other Southern Virginia libero to win that honor, former Knight, a forever Knight, Daniel Aina. Daniel Aina, remember that big run in the CVC tournament back in 2018-2019. Those are the only 2 Knight liberos to ever win the CVC Libero of the Year. So congratulations to Justin Madsen on his well-fought season. Last year, he's picked up right where he left off here in 2024-2025. Tied up 1-1. Served by Canlon. Not playable, just couldn't get it over, was Cade Kinney. Also should be noted while we're talking about CVC Player Awards last year, Christian Schaefer wearing the number 11 for the Knights today, the first Southern Virginia Knight ever to be named CVC Player of the Year. Totaled 112 kills last year, averaged right around 4.15 kills per set, and hitting a very respectable .369. Canlin back to serve. Southern Virginia up by 2, 3-1. Big serve by Canlin, playable by the Maroons. See what they have in store. Cummins, good shot, just was able to get it by Kyler Evans. Madsen plays it to Brown. Brown to Schaefer. Schaefer, good dig on the other side by the Maroons, and a mid-play celebration coming from Tegan Cole. But Southern Virginia gets the last laugh. Evans buries that one in the hardwood. It'll be Jimbo Brown back to serve now for the Southern Virginia Knights. An errant pass off the hands of Cole leads to unforced error for the Maroons at a point for the Knights. Brown back to serve. His junior campaign last year appeared in 27 matches, 84 sets, tallied a respectable 235 kills in his time last year. Now that is a career season high for Jimbo Brown. Oh, that one made its way all the way to the fans. And right past University President's husband, Derek Gordon. President Gordon and Derek Gordon always can be found at Southern Virginia sporting events, and I'm glad to see President Gordon not in her typical spot, as Southern Virginia Sam Canlin came barreling through and had to do his best hurdling impression over top of that reserve seating where President Gordon is typically sitting. Southern Virginia moves on 6-3. Evans out, Madsen out, Crow is in for the Southern Virginia Knights alongside his fellow freshman, number 21, Jason Wang. Caleb Crow. Maroons. Big block inside for the freshman, Jason Wang. Second serve now for Caleb Crow. Big serve by Crow. Maroons not able to respond. Jackson Rutkowski hit that one far. Eight threes the score. Caleb Crow again. Had a strong serve his second time up. See what he does here. Another good serve from Crow. It's playable by the Maroons. Look to the other side to Rutkowski. Point goes to the Knights, much to the chagrin of Jackson Rutkowski. It looks like Rutkowski just came a little bit too close to that net. Point goes to the Knights, 9-3, and we'll get to see another Caleb Crow serve. They tried to go quick inside to Mendoza. Well read by the Knights. Timeouts taken by Maroon head coach Mark Rohrbach. This team is down again, this time 10-3 in the third, and what might be the final set if Southern Virginia continues its winning ways. While we have the small break in the action, let's take a look at the upcoming schedule for both these squads. First for the visiting Roanoke College Maroons. After today, they'll face off away in Asheville, North Carolina. Will face off against Warren Wilson in that same tournament. They'll face off against Carolina University to take on the Bruins. That's Saturday, February 1st at 1 o'clock p.m. After that, some more away games for the Roanoke College Maroons. They'll face off against Randolph College, Rutgers Newark. They'll travel to face Elizabethtown College all the way up in Elizabethtown, Pennsylvania. Randolph-Macon, Stevenson University, Averett again, February 19th. The Maroons don't have a home game until February 22nd. That's a Saturday at 4:30 where they'll face off against Regent University, and then again at home February 26th against the Royals of Eastern Mennonite University. That'll be in Salem at the Kreger Center. So a big away stretch coming up for the Roanoke College Maroons. For the Southern Virginia Knights, after today, they'll face off February 1st. That's Saturday at an early morning start, 11 a.m. They'll face off against the Chargers of Lancaster Bible College. Lancaster Bible also faced off against the Maroons, handed the Maroons one of their 2 losses this year. Southern Virginia then faces off against Drew University in Madison, New Jersey. They'll again play in the Wilkes Tri-Match. February 8th, they'll face 2 matches, one against Wilkes University, the other one against Widener University, until eventually they return home to face off against Stevenson University. Valentine's Day, February 14th, 7 o'clock p.m. here at the Barn in Buena Vista. Third set is underway. Southern Virginia a chance to attack, and Schaefer wastes no time, still alive. That one's out. Point goes to the Maroons. Took their time a little bit on that last call. It's still a 4-10 lead for the Southern Virginia Knights. Crow is out. Evans is in, immediately comes back out, and Madsen checks into the game. Back to serve now for the Roanoke College Maroons. That is number 2. Had to wait for head coach Mark Rohrback. Just move a little bit out of the way. He's doing his job as best he can. I'm just trying to do mine. Number 2, C.J. Kingston, back to serve. Playable by the Knights. Tolman. That's a big find inside. Jason Wang. Tolman now back to serve. Sophomore from Arizona. Fabro. Look for Rutkowski. Southern Virginia goes to Canlin. Fabro has to play it just over again. Good dig. Canlin again. Makes that one thought counted. Stays in. Teams are rallying. Brown. From the backyard to the front porch, Jimbo Brown, 12-4 Knights. That's a big shot inside from Jackson Rutkowski. Rutkowski's been looking for that all game, finally able to get one by the smart defensive hands of the Southern Virginia Knights, and now Rutkowski is back to serve. Dig by Schaefer. Canlin. Well, Canlin puts another one down in his name. And for Canlin, that is kill number 4 on the day today. Too much on that one. Take a look at some of the Knights' individual numbers. We mentioned Canlin, 4 kills today. How about Schaefer? 8 kills on the day. 8 kills, 3 aces for Christian Schaefer. How about another one for Christian Schaefer? That's ace number 4 for the young man from PA. 15-5, Schaefer's still back there. Schaefer leads all Knights today in aces. In fact, he leads all players in that category today. That's another one, 2 in a row for Christian Schaefer. Ace number 5. And And it'll call for some changes on that side for the Roanoke Maroons and head coach Mark Rohrback. Schaefer looking for 3 in a row. This one's playable by the Maroons. Still there. Good hustle play. Schaefer. So Southern Virginia up 17-5. Momentum staunchly on the side of the Crimson and White. Playable in that ceiling. That's tough to deal with. That'll go to the Maroons. Good shot down by Michael Cummins. That'll break the momentum of the night just for the time being as Mendoza's back to serve. Mendoza. That one's long. Was close. Little trigger a sub for the Southern Virginia Knights as Carrillo checks in. Wang checks out, as does Evans. In checks number 14 for the first time in this matchup. Senior middle blocker from Gilbert, Arizona, Curtis Stone. Curtis Stone had a very good outing against Averett. Had a number of kills, couple blocked there too. Everything he touched turned to gold. How about that for Carrillo? One of the best in the country in that aspect of the game and showing off why just there. 19-6. As the Yo Soy Loco chants come pouring in for Isaac Carrillo. Maybe another. Able to keep it alive, the Roanoke Maroons. Tolman. Tried to go fast. Good work by Jimbo Brown. So it'll be Carrillo. Carrillo. That one's up in the ceiling. Hard to find it. Maroons get it up. And Jimbo Brown spikes it down. The barn proving to be another factor in this game for the Roanoke Maroons. In for the Knights now. Out is Garrick Tolman into the game. Number 15, senior Maxim Sutton. Sutton from Mesa, Arizona. Saw him play the majority of the game at that setter spot earlier today against Averett. That one's just a little bit too far for Carrillo. Be interesting to see what Sutton can add to this squad as Carrillo checks out. Wang appears to check in. Wang will turn around, come out, and Madsen will come into the game. Fulkin's back into the game for the Roanoke Maroons, as is Dominic Wheaton. Back to serve is Tegan Cole, freshman from Mechanicsville, Virginia. Knights play it. Sutton to Brown. Just a little bit wide for Jimbo Brown. 21-8. Some good coaching coming on that side of the Southern Virginia coaching staff. Big serve for the freshman, playable by the Knights. Stone just wide. Cole. Continues good service. Sutton to Schaefer. Hit a couple of maroon hands, but another kill for Christian Schaefer. And now Jayden Hall back to serve. Jayden Hall's back there wearing the number 2. Timeout for the Roanoke Maroons. And a timeout for the Southern Virginia Knights as well, giving head coach Tom Peterson an opportunity to talk to his squad. Interestingly enough, you take a look at the Southern Virginia sideline. We all know Tom Peterson. We all know Cheryl Peterson and Russell Tompkins. Gabe Wagner in his 3rd season. He's the one standing up the majority of the time. giving those players insight. Tom Peterson, the wealth of wisdom that he is, coaching this team to what seemingly will be another victory here at home to remain undefeated. They'll move to 5-0 if everything plays out the way it has so far throughout the first 2 sets and the majority of this third. It'll be interesting to see if we see any new faces for either of the squads. A couple players of the Maroons we haven't seen. Looks like it'll be all normal. Connor Tyson's in there for the Maroons, as is Wheaton. Tegan Cole's in there. See the big man in the middle, Pierce Fulkin. Familiar faces in for the Knights as well. Sutton, Stone, Schaefer, Brown, Madsen. Back to serve is Hall. We'll see Jimbo Brown come out in his stead. Freshman number 19, Brady Dastrup, freshman from Colorado Springs, Colorado. He led all Knights in the game against Averett in points and kills. What a showing for the young man in Brady Dastrup. Back to serve, Jayden Hall. That one into the net. We won't get to see another Jayden Hall ace today, unfortunately. Maroons now with an opportunity to serve. Michael Cummins is back there. See what the Knights can do on the defensive side. If the Maroons can respond with some offense of their own. Cummins' serve, good dig by Hall. Sutton looks for Dastrup, good strike. That's a good hit coming inside from Connor Tyson. And the North Carolinian junior puts another point up for the Maroons. Back to serve now, Michael Cummins. Sutton to Hall. Point goes to the Maroons. That ball came screaming toward the press box. It will be another serve for Michael Cummins. Schaefer picks up another one. Southern Virginia with 23 now. Back to serve is Dastrup. Dastrup had a handful of service aces earlier today as well. See what he can do here. That one just falls its way over. Not a traditional service ace, but a service ace nonetheless. And it is match point for the Southern Virginia Knights. In the hands of the freshman. 24-12. Southern Virginia looking to make it 5 in a row in the 2024-2025 campaign. Dastrup playable in the ceiling. Here come the Maroons. Knights to respond. Sutton. Dastrup, that one into the net. We'll have to wait a couple more moments to see if Southern Virginia can win set number 3 and take home win number 5. Back to serve, Riley Coffrin, the junior from Sicily. Coffrin, Knights play it. Schaefer, Sutton to Schaefer. Soft touch will win it for the Knights. Schaefer showing his softer side. And Southern Virginia wins 25-13 there in the third set. 3 straight sets for the Southern Virginia Knights. They have yet to drop a set this year. Only dropping 4 sets in what now is 35 straight games. Take a look at some of the team stats for today. Southern Virginia led the kills department 30-17. Attack errors, only 8 for the SVU Knights, 22 on the side of the Maroons. Southern Virginia had a 38.6 hit percentage today. Good numbers for them on that side of the ball. 10 service aces to none. Pretty good margin for the Southern Virginia Knights. 16-4 blocks assisted as well. So an overall dominant performance for the Southern Virginia Knights. No player really stood out, as all players were contributing. How about that? Christian Schaefer, 12 kills today, 500 hitting percentage, 5 aces, 1 solo block, 3 assisted blocks for Palmyra, PA's finest. Well, that'll do it for us here at Southern Virginia. Tune in again on Saturday as the Southern Virginia Knights men's basketball program takes on the Chargers of Lancaster Bible College. For everyone here at Southern Virginia University, I'm Chris Fly saying so long from Buena Vista. Southern Virginia wins 3-0 over top of the Roanoke College Maroons. Good night.